So, Dragon's Teeth is finally here. The wait is now over, so if you do have Premium, you now can download Dragon's Teeth. Now, it's been available since about 9 AM UK time on the PC at least, and I think it came out a few hours later on the Xbox and the PlayStation, but either way, by the time you are watching this video, it now will be available across all platforms. Now, of course, if you don't have Premium, you will have to wait till I think the 23rd of July, so maybe a week, another 2 weeks before it's released. So today I have been playing all of the brand new maps. Now I did want to get some gameplay of the brand new game mode Chain Link, but I could only find one server playing it and it had a 15-man queue, so I think at the moment a lot of servers are still setting up that brand new game mode. So when I can find some Chain Link servers, I will post some gameplay for you. Now today I have been playing Conquest Large. Now that says a lot about these maps because usually I always avoid Conquest Large on Battlefield 4. I'll play Domination, Conquest, but Conquest Large for me just ends up being a game of hide and seek with the vehicles. But there is something about these maps very different to what we've seen in Battlefield 4 already. Now in the past I have spoke to you guys about how I really enjoyed the maps of Battlefield 3 because they allowed a good mixture of vehicle and infantry gameplay in the same space. Now especially on this map Sunken Dragon, that is definitely something you can apply to these maps. This is a huge game of Conquest Large, you can see I'm playing here. There are armoured vehicles, there aren't any tanks, but there are multiple LAVs, armoured trucks, armoured cars, and even though this was an over 1600 ticket server, I didn't find myself killed by a vehicle throughout the entire game at all, because the balance of these maps allowed vehicle and infantry gameplay to play alongside each other without really getting in each other's way. Now that's something I don't think we've seen in other Battlefield 4 maps. I always find on Conquest Large, if there are a lot of vehicles on there, I just seem to play hide and seek and spend the whole time hiding inside buildings, trying to dart across the street and avoid enemy tanks, which for me just isn't very fun. So it has been good getting to play these different brand new maps. Now this one in particular does remind me of a great mix of Siege of Shanghai and Dawnbreaker. Now Dawnbreaker, for the obvious reason, the time of day it's set, that kind of dawny, dusky period, and Siege of Shanghai because you've got a lot of water, a lot of tall buildings you can get on top of for sniping, a lot of little bridges you've got to cross which do expose you to sniper fire, so it does have that Siege of Shanghai feeling, especially if you are playing Conquest or Conquest Large. It has a very similar layout. Both teams start on either side of the river, with the Levolution event taking place right in the centre. Now disappointingly, the Levolution event itself is definitely something we've already seen before. It's the partial flooding of the map. By opening up the floodgates on the left hand side, it allows you to flood water into the dried up riverbed that moves through the centre of the map. Now before it floods, there are lots of boats tipped on their sides that you can climb through and work your way through, and then of course once the riverbed floods with water again, those boats begin to float. So it does add some cool little new features to the idea of the flooding map. But the new feature that definitely makes it different from the likes of Flood Zone is the fact that once the area has been flooded, it then can be unflooded again by reopening the gates. Now this is something I would have definitely liked to have seen on the likes of Flood Zone, because sometimes on that map, when the Levolution event takes place, it can slow the pace of the gameplay down a little bit. So allowing players to unflood that area again does make a cool new feature we haven't seen before. Now I will say, when this map becomes more popular and a lot more people know the layout of this map, I definitely think it will become a sniper's paradise. Because of the amount of open space in this map and the very small towers you can find on the floodgates or the dam itself, and the little areas you can sit on the Sea Dragon, the Sunken restaurant in the centre of the map, it allows snipers to fight across very large open spaces and take out players trying to move across those open gaps. So at the moment it's not too bad because a lot of players are still exploring the map, but once people know the way around, I think it will become a DMR and sniper's paradise. Now the final thing I want to talk to you guys about this map has to be the graphics. I don't think you can watch this gameplay or play this DLC without talking about how good looking it really looks. Now with the Naval Strike DLC, the previous DLC to Dragon's Teeth, even though for me personally it wasn't my favourite DLC, of course it wasn't very infantry focused, I don't think anyone could deny how good looking it really was. But Dragon's Teeth has definitely matched that. The level of detail with the buildings, the lighting, the environments is very, very cool. On this map in particular, inside the Sea Dragon, the restaurant, it's all made of timber. When it's all tipped to one side and flooding internally because of those dams, it is very, very cool. So Naval Strike definitely set the precedent, but I think Dragon's Teeth has equally matched it. So as you can probably tell, at the moment I really am enjoying Dragon's Teeth. For me, it's probably going to be one of the best DLCs so far, of course. It's very early days, I can't give it a full review just yet, but first experiences, the maps are very cool, they look very cool, especially if you are an infantry-focused player. They seem to play very well with a good mixture of vehicles and infantry. But as I said, early days yet, I will be doing videos of all the maps and the new game mode chain link as well, so stay tuned on the channel. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to hit like and leave all your thoughts and comments below. As I said, keep your eyes peeled, there should be a lot more videos coming very, very soon. But in the meantime guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.